There have been a number of allegations involving the Daystar television network and the Lamb family. And the whole thing is ugly and it's deeply disturbing. If you're not aware of what I'm referring to, simply Google Daystar or Google Joni Lamb and you will see a number of articles. The Roy's report broke this story a few days ago, and so you can also check their content. As a result of the numerous allegations, Daystar president Joni Lamb recently issued a statement. For her part, she may feel betrayed, she may feel angry, she may feel hurt, but in my opinion, how she responded is making the whole situation worse. Now, whenever there are allegations of abuse or cover-up involving a child, the ire of the public is rightly raised. And if you're going to issue a statement, I would start with that part. I would speak directly to what is likely on the hearts and minds of most people in the public, and that is likely whether or not the allegations about the child are true, and also the welfare of the child. How is the child doing? Generally speaking, in public relations, what we advise people is that if you have a set of circumstances that the public believes, don't spend time arguing with the public about why that thing is not true. Acknowledge where they are and then build from there. But when you completely ignore that, in the mind of the public, they're still wrestling with what they think may have happened or what they believed. And so they're not going to follow you and they're not going to connect with your message. So from my perspective, from my professional opinion, if I were sitting with, Joni Lamb, I would say start with the child, how the child is doing. So that's where the public statement should have begun, in my opinion. I then would have spoken from the heart as a mother and as a grandmother. Because this involves her son and her daughter-in-law, I feel like she should have leaned into the part of her that is mom and mother-in-law and grandmother. Because for many people in the public, they are not going to resonate with an employer-employee relationship when you're talking about your son in the same way that I think that they would resonate from a mother to a child relationship. And speaking about your hopes, your heartbreaks, that's where I would have started. I also think that when you have situations like this, getting into the weeds is really, really dangerous. And when you start talking about a performance improvement plan, and when you start litigating in public what the grievances were in private, I just feel like that is a slippery slope. So again, from a public relations standpoint, not only would I have advised against the response that was issued, I would advise Daystar against issuing legal notices to some YouTubers as they are alleged to have done. Several YouTubers have noted that they received communication from Daystar lawyers requesting or demanding corrections, retractions, and in some cases, pulling down the videos completely. The Smart Christian channel, Nick Jones, Revealing Truth, Brother John Elvin, Julie Royce, and possibly more have said that they received threat letters from the Daystar attorneys. Now, if you have a YouTuber with a small platform and they're talking about how this massive entity is threatening to come after them, I feel like the public is going to be on the side of that small YouTuber. And I really think that cease and desist letters can sometimes provide more fodder and they can give the story or give a story more fuel. Targeting YouTubers, again, especially those with smaller platforms, can come across as vindictive as well as suspicious. What can be won from such a tactic? Perhaps it will make other people think twice about whether they make content on this issue. Perhaps some people will say, I'm not going to touch it at all. But I think that it can also stoke ill will. And it can raise more questions when you want to be positioning yourself as credible, as trustworthy, as deeply concerned about all of this. Now, as I think about this and as I process it, for me, it's a reminder that if you're a Christian, your faith has to be in God. The voice of God has to be higher and it has to be the loudest voice. And it is so easy in today's 24/7 news cycle. It is so easy to get on YouTube, to get on Instagram. There's so many places where we can go to get information. And it's easy to short circuit our responsibility of praying, of reading the Bible, of being in fellowship with godly people, of being in covenant relationships or relationships where we are accountable to other people. And to look at people who appear to have it all figured out and to trust their word, sometimes even above what we believe God is saying. But anytime I hear of a situation where a person is in public different from who they purport themselves to be in private, it is a reminder to me that our focus has to be on God. It is also a reminder of the danger in creating idols. When I was younger, I used to think of idols as, maybe a relationship. I thought of idols as maybe, money, or as maybe clothes or chasing possessions. I didn't always think of idols as Christian preachers or as faith leaders. But if we esteem a faith leader higher than we esteem God, if we spend more time listening to even someone on YouTube, listening to a preacher more than we spend reading our Bible, I think that that can be an idol. And whenever I hear about situations like this, it's a reminder to me to be sure that that I'm seeking my fuel and my sustenance first through my daily walk, through my reading of the Bible, through my praying, through my daily walk with God, and then next through my relationships with. My church is really big on small groups, and I feel like that's where we have to anchor ourselves, as being in these kinds of relationships, and not be spiritually lazy, where we just want to turn on, our smart devices and hear from someone other than sitting and reading our Bible ourselves. So I hope this content has been helpful. Please feel free to leave a positive comment. And if you haven't already, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for listening.